Thank you for staying with us for overtime. I'm Cheryl. I am here with Pastor Brad. Yes, I am. Happy
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Thank you so much.
Father of 4 boys.
4 boys.
What are their ages?
This is a hard, come on, they change every year, Pastor Cheryl. Okay, their ages 11, 9, 6, nearly 7, and 5.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Just even knowing the nearly 7.
I know their birthdays as well.
Oh, really?
I'm a good father.
Well, that's who you are.
That's who I am.
That's who you are.
I've already thrown her off my first time here.
I love it. You know, it's funny when a kid is 6, maybe it's like 3 months in, they're almost 7.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's important, those months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't mess.
Don't mess with the months. So that's big time. What a great message on 7 points of that fathering is like the game of. Are you a golfer?
No. I'm so glad that fatherhood for me is not as frustrating as golf, because I'm a terrible golfer. I really relate to Pastor Dave. It's not my game. I like out, I like doing it with friends, but not good.
No.
Not good at it.
No.
good.
You know, we the two of us do quite a bit of putting.
Okay.
Yes.
I love mini golf. That's great.
Yeah.
So fun. Windmills, ramps.
Yeah.
I'm
all that fun stuff.
So good.
But that can be very frustrating.
Okay.
I find even like mini golf can be frustrating. It's like go in the hole.
Yeah.
Like just go in the hole.
It's your home.
Keep
Go
your
home.
eye on the ball, which I've been told to do. Keep your eye. So I'm keeping my eye on the ball. But it's like, how does it know when I have my eye on the ball that it's supposed to go there? Like if I just I have to keep my eye there. It's just every golfer that is a good golfer, I just admire you because I find it incredibly frustrating. But that's not dads.
No.
No, dads aren't frustrated.
I hope not.
I shouldn't have just said that because that doesn't go very well with the message at all. Oh, wow. Oh, 7 points on my dad is like golfing. Vision. He's got vision.
Gotta have vision.
Needing some help here, Pastor Brad.
All right.
Okay, you know what? The 7 points are because God is a good father.
Absolutely.
I can appreciate the fact you are, but it's only because he is.
Only by the grace of God.
And those 7 points, you really can relate to our Father God on the vision that he had for family. That
absolutely.
we wouldn't even have family units. He's the one that created the idea of fatherhood. And so the way that he is able to do that, even on self-discipline, I looked up that word, that self-discipline is really the ability to pursue. And that's who God is. Yeah. It says he is able. And he's able to pursue exceedingly abundantly beyond what we could ask or think. And who's more focused than he is? I just love the fact that we can always trust in him on all of these points. Of course, wisdom. We just went through a series in James about wisdom. And in that, if you remember at the end of James chapter 3, where God talks about what wisdom is, how it's pure and peaceable, willing to yield. How is that with fatherhood?
Yeah, we need to yield to the Spirit of God, get wisdom. So many times, Rebecca and I need wisdom on how to navigate. And I love Pastor Dave's analogy of the different clubs for the different situations in parenting. And what's tricky is what used to work with the same kid. It's the same kid, but because they're older, it no longer works because they keep aging. And especially for the older ones, and sometimes we've had to apologize, and to our oldest, like, I'm sorry, we didn't get that right, and he'll call us on it. It's like, you would have never let me get away with that to the other kids, and it's like, yeah, you're right, but we're better parents now.
I think God graces firstborns. I really do.
Yeah.
There's a special grace on every firstborn. I really do. I think there's a reason why God said, dedicate the firstborn to me. It's like, you really need help with that firstborn.
We need a lot of help. But we're growing, we're learning.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
we
and
are.
I love that we can ask God for wisdom and I love Pastor Dave's, tip. This is a pro tip. Go take a walk. Sometimes you don't respond to the situation immediately, even if to correct. Sometimes you're just like, well, you're grounded, you're this. And like, sometimes you need to process it and think about it. Is that an appropriate even discipline or correction to what is just taking place? And going for a walk or talking through with Rebecca, my wife, getting on the same page. Like, how do we handle this situation? This is new. I've never even seen this before. What do we do? And you can pray, talk it over, and then come up with a game plan on how to correct, because we don't want to overcorrect and exacerbate them or make them frustrated. And we really rely on God's wisdom, on His Word. We can ask for wisdom.
It's so true. And to the point that Pastor Dave also made, and I'm sure you have that as well, people that are a step ahead of you in parenting that you can go to and you can ask for wisdom, which is so huge, to just have somebody you can bounce something off, because sometimes something will seem so huge because you've never experienced it before, and just to have another parent say, that's not a big deal, don't make more of that than what it is. Right. It's like, yeah, that's right, you're right, because it just is, it could be a life-altering thing to you as a couple, but in big picture, it's not. I really like the verse in 1 Thessalonians, it was under point number 3, 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, 11 and 12. It was this, and how affectionately we treated each one of you, like a loving father cares for his own children. And then this is really God and earthly fathers, how we comfort, encourage, challenge, and I love this, adopt a lifestyle worthy, because it is a lot of adoption. I mean, some people have they were brought up in great homes, and you can glean so much from your own home. But if there was a lot of things that you had to say, you know what, I actually can't do it the way my father did it, or what I saw, or maybe there wasn't even a dad present. And so there's adopting a lifestyle that is godly, and so to have that in the Word, that He invites us, it says He invites us into His kingdom and glory. That's the rest of that verse. He's inviting us into His places. I've got kingdom principles. They'll work for you. So I think it's really cool that we could take that verse and just give it to a dad and say, hey, here you are, because you will be comforted and encouraged.
Yeah, that's such a great point, because our kids are watching us. They're watching us so carefully. And I love that story that Pastor Dave shared about, his dad teaching him how to open up sunflower seeds and going through the spits. And our kids look up to us. They imitate us. And it's even convicting when you see a behavior that you don't like about yourself in your kids. You're like, oh man, Lord, help me. I don't like that. Let's talk. Help me. Forgive me, Jesus. And I remember my kid, one story of my kid when he was younger. He looked up to me, just exemplifying how much they look at us and want to be like us. My wife cuts all of our hairs.
Wow.
And then I think he was 4 at the time, one of my sons says, I just want a hole in my hair like Dad. I just want a hole in my hair. Like, why don't you cut my hair like that? I want to be like Dad. And I was like, just wait. It's coming. It's coming.
There's a hole in your hair?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. But man, they watch us, and we need to be filled with wisdom.
Okay, is that the most affirming thing you could possibly have?
I mean, I was cool at one point.
That is really cute.
I know, it was so cute. It's like, oh, buddy.
Yeah. I think with that, I think part of recognizing point number 7, I do think, but that's not what I meant. I do think point number 7, enjoying the journey on all of the points, is almost like the bag that holds all the clubs. And because that enjoyment, because some clubs, like you said, you'll take it out, and at one age, it works for them, and it's the same kid, and then maybe, a few years later, it's like, I used this last time. This time it's completely ineffective. And then you try it on the next kid, and the next one. Sometimes you just got to throw that club aside. Like, it's not working at all anymore. And be open for more information, to be willing to learn, and for God to bring new people, new situations, even new ideas into your life and into your family. I think part of fatherhood, going back to the Raising Mom podcast that Pastor Dave was on, which was just so incredible. Like, every mom, dad should listen to this, because it's just so great. But just to use the point of being able to say, bottom line is, as a dad, if I hear him correctly, is the idea of being wired to protect and to provide, and how important that is as a father for that to be affirmed in a dad. So even as you're trying and throwing some clubs out and keeping some clubs, the bottom line is that in this bag, I'm on the journey and I want to do the right thing.
And enjoy it. I
And-
love that Pastor Cheryl, you and Dave say that Pastor Dave says this all the time. Enjoy every stage. Some babies, sometimes it's difficult. Sleepless nights, it's hard, it's a grind, but enjoy it. And that's a choice. It really is a choice.
So
Enjoy every
true.
stage. And by God's grace, we have enjoyed every stage of our kids' lives. It wasn't like, oh, I'm glad the baby's over. I'm glad the toddler season's over. We can look back with fondness about those stages and knowing that God gives you grace in every stage.
He does, and it really does get better and better. You know, going back again to Joshua chapter 24 and 15, just want to close with this verse because we know the end of it. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. The beginning part of that verse says, and if it seems evil to you, if it seems evil to you to serve the Lord, choose this day. So if you think God's word is just too hard, or if you think that, I don't want to, then you make the choice. If that seems evil to you, where it's like, no, I think my way's better, then God's saying you make the choice. But Joshua made the right choice. And he said, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord, and trust that you do the same thing. God bless you.